because of the increase with the town, with the school and the county, there was gonna be a tax increase this year anyways. There was no way we could sustain 1670 this year. We would have gone to, without the reval, we would have gone to $19.15 a thousand, okay? So, for example, we ran 2 or 3 scenarios here already, and we're in hopes, we're gonna see what we can do to get the mill rate as close to 10 as possible, okay? So, but if we can get it down close to 10, then the increase over what, even those of us that are gonna see an increase, the increase is gonna be pretty much minimal over what it would have been anyways with a $19.15 mill rate. So let's run a few scenarios. Let's try 10 flat.
10 flat would be no overlay.
No overlay at all, okay, all right. And if we go, let's say 1020,
1020 would be 158,000,
can we?
which is very standard for what you guys are doing. It's 2%. The maximum is 5%. So.
Can you explain an overlay just for folks who are here who may not?
The overlay really, overlay in I'm gonna talk. Way back in the day, overlay was there for rounding errors when you did it's all by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And math by hand, you end up doing some errors that way, and just rounding and calculation errors. What overlay is really used for today is the fact that like not everybody pays their taxes on time. So it really is there. If you don't have any overlay whatsoever, if somebody doesn't pay their taxes, then you're short on your budget,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no way for you to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So now what the overlay is there for is for those people that do not pay on time. Eventually you get the money back,
Yeah.
right? Because you'll foreclose or you'll do whatever.
Right.
So eventually it will come back to you. But it's really there for it to cover the town
Right.
while they're waiting for that money.
And then at the end,
Basically, it's the jar on top of the refrigerator.
Right, so it's a little bit of
that
a-
you can pay the electric bill
Right.
that month even though you didn't get your paycheck.
so it's a little bit of a cushion, and then at the end of the year, if we have money left over, that goes back into the undesignated. We don't carry that
No, we
forward,
don't pay
right?
it
So
forward.
it's,
It goes to the undesignated
Yeah.
fund balance, and that's what you pull from for your other revenues.
That's right.
For the next year's
Right.
commitment.
And this year, we're gonna take 1.3 million to, 1.2 million of the undesignated fund balance to offset taxes.
That's right, so you made a good point, and that's a good point to make, that any extra goes into fund balance, and then maybe
Right.
next year we can take 1.3 or not, but it's really about cash flow.
It's really about
Right.
cash
At the end of the day, it's
Yep.
about
Okay.
cash flow.
So, at 1020, we can live with the
58,000.
158,000. Here's a comparison. I'll give you my taxes, okay? My taxes were $3,218 a year. With the $19 mill rate, my taxes would have gone up to $3,757. With the 1020 mill rate, my taxes are gonna go to $3,951. So it's only gonna be $200 over what the increase would have been this year anyways, okay? I am gonna end up paying $700 more in taxes than I did last year, but still I would have paid $500 more if we didn't do the reval.
And that also means that someone else is paying $200 less.
Right.
And then somebody else that probably got $200 less taxes this year.
How much did that
The other
value
thing
go up?
is, the exemption this year, my homestead exemption is gonna go to the full $25,000. Last year, our exemptions were only $11,250.
No,
16.
that's what they would be this year
That's
if we
what they,
did not.
excuse me, that's what they would be this year if we didn't do the reval. And that's because, that's the carrot and stick thing that the state uses. In other words, if we don't keep our certified ratio up close to 95%, they deduct whatever we fall below that. So in other words, instead of getting your whole $25,000, you were only getting less than half of it because we were down to 40, our certified ratio was down to 44%. And the state doesn't like that.
and
To
so,
give you an example, we had a 2-bedroom ranch on a slab with an acre and a half of land and just sold for just under $300,000.
Because people got more money to bring in sometimes.
And we had,
Mhm.
we had nowhere near that much on an assessment. I went online the other night and I looked at raw land in Woolwich. The least expensive lot I could find for sale in Woolwich right now is $95,000. That's just for a house lot. Put that in comparison, when I bought my house lot in 1986, I paid $16,250 for it. So, it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen, that our money's worthless, and it's getting worse all the time. I can give you a few more scenarios here.
Okay, interesting. So I think Sean asked what your,
How much did your particular property value go up? I
My
mean,
property
mine-
value went from 209,000 to 412.
Okay,
Okay, so it pretty much doubled.
Yeah.
Can you explain your property to us?
My property, I've got 3.5 acres. I got a modest cape. I've got a pole barn and a Quonset building.
And you have road frontage.
Excuse me?
Road frontage?
road frontage, you have road frontage?
Yes, road
On what
frontage.
road?
Town takes care of your road.
You have to have 200 feet of road frontage, and I think I have 206.
Okay.
But you're on a private road, right, David?
That's
Oh, it is
town
town road,
It
it is.
used to be private road, it is
Okay.
a town road now.
Can I ask a question then, if it's okay?
Excuse me, Gary?
Our property is similar to yours.
Okay,
We have an old pole barn, which
yeah.
you know the story, and we have a single-story ranch house, 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. We were half a mile back off the road on a private road, which was abandoned in 1906, the down this road,
And we
and we maintain that road. For some reason, they have our property, the new reevaluation is just under $500,000.
How many acres?
We have about 27 acres.
27 acres?
that's why.
That's why.
Now, that land is all backland, it's all swamp and it's in the watershed.
If you
I can't do anything on that land without jumping through a million hoops. So, I mean, it's worth nothing except for the wood that's on it.
Yeah. Have you reached out to the,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're not getting any calls back.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear from Nicole. My name is Victoria Harvey, and I've been texting you and waiting to hear.
I've been dealing with them, so.
And the thing is our town is not maintained by our road is not maintained by the town, and that's very expensive for us. We have been doing it, all people that live on it have been doing it, but it's very expensive.
And I would say on average,
Would
I
you
think
sell,
we
would
should
you sell your house?
Fix this.
I know. Okay.
on average, we
This
put about
is-
$6,000 into that road.
Gary,
annually.
this is the time to do this.
You know that.
Come in, see Nicole.
When your
and,
tax bill comes out and your kind of valuation
If
is
we
on there.
miss something, we'll straighten it out. Okay,
So our exemption this year is gonna be a full 25 grand?
full 25
Yes.
grand, if you have a home, if you have, open space, tree growth, farm, any of that.
Veterans,
It'll all go
blind.
back to the full amount. Okay?
Maybe
All right.
veterans goes back up to 6.
So,
And the what?
I think,
Veterans will go back up to 6.
6, okay.
Say that again, please.
The veterans is 6,000.
The veterans exemption.
And blind is
Six.
4,
The blind would be a full 4.
okay.
So
So that's only 10.
To say what?
That's only 10.
No, so there's a blind exemption, that's $4,000.
Oh, okay.
There's a veterans exemption, that's $6,000, and then there's a homestead exemption, that's $25,000. They're all separate exemptions.
For
Okay, so-
blind,
For blind, anyone who's
Blind?
legally
You're
blind.
Legally blind.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the board. I think a $10.20, I think that's,
make that a motion.
so I would move that we, accept the $10.20, or set the mill rate at $10.20 for the upcoming year.
Those in favor? Allison cannot vote because she's a state rep, so she cannot be an assessor. All right, so carried 4 to nothing.
Can I print the stuff for you guys to sign and get you to sign it?
Yep. Please.
Tax commitment. Yeah, they'll do
And
that.
that is a significant drop in it. You have to understand that
Yes.
the school,
Yeah.
The school is up to, $5,470,533. The five of us only control about 28 cents on the dollar. The rest of it all goes to the other side of the river. So if you really wanna save money on your taxes, start going to the school board budget committee meetings and ask them to pull off, cut back, do the best they can. Same thing with the county. The county was $780,000 2 years ago. That's what we had to pay. We pay that one full sweep, just bang. We get a bill in October, we have to pay in November. Last year, they went up to $1,017,000, $1,014,000.
17, yeah.
$1,017,000, right. This year, they've gone up to $1,144,879. I'm on the budget committee, over the budget advisory committee over to the county. You gotta understand, there were 36,000 people in Saginaw County. You know how many people voted on the county budget? 3. 3 county commissions, that's it. So, and they can do anything they want, practically.
Well, when they had the public hearing, right, the
Right.
public hearing, some of us were there, the select board, David was there, and Carol, you were there, but there wasn't anybody else from the general public. They were either on the committee or they were town leaders or,
And they have all their meetings either at 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock on Tuesdays. And, I've been pressuring them to let us make more than one payment, pay them twice a year. And that has grown to the point where it went countywide. And all but Pittsburgh and two towns.
Bath is gonna try, what they said was they supported 2 payments, but they were going to try themselves to do 1.
Okay, but.
And that's
So
now,
We pretty much, I think, forced the commissioners into letting us make 2 payments, which would make it a lot easier on us, budget-wise. Their argument was that if they went to 2 payments, they'd lose revenue. And my argument to them is if we owe you $1 million, we give you $500,000 in June, and you get to put it in the bank for the summer, and then we give you $500,000 in October, how did you lose any money? You've got that interest all summer long. But somehow the treasurer over there is convinced that that's gonna make them lose money. Okay.
actually, it had been in statute that it was a once a year payment, and so
Right.
Maine statute changed to allow counties to do a different
Right.
payment.
Several of the towns have asked to make 12 payments. We make 12 payments to the RSU. We send a check to the RSU every month for $455,000. So, and again, the 5 of us, we control the chunk change. We get 28 cents out of every dollar spent. And
Well, the
we
town
don't
meeting
decide
controls
how
that.
much-
Yeah, no, we don't
But
really.
we don't really control the town. The town controls it at town
We
meeting.
don't decide how much money we're gonna have to spend, the town meeting does. So if you wanna, again, show up at town meeting and voice your concerns. We actually had somebody at town meeting this year stand up and add $10,000 to the budget. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question in regards to the new tax cards that may have come out of the assessment. Like, for instance, with my house, I used to have a barn on it that got torn down. So, if there's changes in that kind of property, will the tax cards be automatically or eventually updated,
Yes.
for the properties to the assessment? And when it,
Did you get a permit to tear the building down? A demolition permit to tear the building
I would
down?
have to go back and look at that, it's been a while.
But if not, I mean, you can,
That's the only way,
pass-
that's the
Your
only way we
tax
would
cards
automatically catch it.
They're public information all the time.
No, I know, but I'm thinking about updating them.
yeah.
Yep, so they'll be updated, yeah.
And is there a timeline, timeframe on that?
Not
Well, I think that's
necessarily, but
April
we
1st.
do everything as of April 1st. So if we know you tore your barn down, we would take it off your card before the commitment is done for the year. So there's a new tax card every year.
So if you wanna make sure, come in and take a
Yeah.
look at it
Come
and
and
let her
Get
know.
a copy of it.
Did that answer?
The only way we normally catch changes is with building permits.
Okay,
Somebody
so-
comes in and builds a barn, they get a building
Sure.
permit to build it, we catch that.
Sure.
Same thing if they come in to get a demolition permit, and although we don't always, I
So,
don't think
I-
people-
I know-
We don't issue that.
we did it one time, but I don't think we
But
issued it.
another scenario is when you have an old house that you can't stand up in the upstairs, that, you know, when I was talking to the assessors, they were talking about, you know, it being a one-bedroom house with a finished attic versus a three-bedroom house. So does that get changed, you know, on a tax card if that is, you know?
If you make us aware of any changes, yes.
Okay, so it has to be done by the property owner, has to notify that they had a conversation with the assessors when they were standing at their house talking about the property, that, you know, that whatever's there is there, and it has to be sure that it's an updated tax card. for
Right, right,
them.
but Lori, understand that happens every year. You know, that can be ongoing. So next year, if you decide to tear down something, take a deck off, do away with it, then go ahead and reach out.
Are you talking about the assessors that came out and did the,
Yes,
so that should already be in the system, it should already be processed through.
so the current tax card should have that in there, if that was
Yeah,
the case.
sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't guarantee perfection on any person's part.
No, I'm just saying if that's what they did, and if they didn't do that, if it doesn't appear to be what has
Mhm.
happened, then you need to reach out and
Yeah.
have it be
Yeah.
updated.
Yep.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Jared,
Who owns our properties? You kind of like telling us what we can, what we can't do. It's like, all right, well, good's our deed. I mean, I know it's for tax purposes and stuff, but what if you have an memorial deed? How's that gonna work out?
all the building codes in Woolwich have been voted upon at town meetings over the years.
So what if you have an memorial deed, how is that gonna affect?
What now?
A what?
An memorial deed, go ahead and look it up.
Colonial deed?
Memorial.
Lloyd?
Not sure we're familiar with
I
that.
don't think I'm.
Gary, you gotta remember, we didn't create the system.
I know,
We didn't
but I
create
mean,
the
you guys
system.
are the ones in charge pushing the buttons.
Well,
You should know how to drive the ship.
Actually, you push the buttons. They can only do what you guys vote on. So if you show up at your town meeting, you show up at your school budget,
Well, when the
you vote on
town
that.
meeting is
And that's
swamped by
what
the
we
rich
allocate
people
the
on
taxes.
Monterey Road.
At this year's,
Hey.
at this
We
year's
kind of lost
school
sight.
referendum, I think we had, what, 100 people show up?
We had like 60 people.
60 people
60
showed up,
people.
and 85% of them voted yes, okay? So that's held every June.
What time of day are these
For the
meetings?
school
Now,
budget.
you take like, I think it was Durham, they voted their school budget down 3 times.
Mhm.
And they finally cut almost $1 million out of the budget, and it finally passed. But here,
This year-
it just, if we get 60, 65 people, that's a huge turnout for the school referendum.
yeah, so.
And nobody's gonna vote against their children or grandchildren, so it always passes by a landslide.
Right, so to answer your question, it's every June, it's a referendum vote, you know, it's just like going to vote in November, right?
Yep.
It's held right here, it's held in this room.
You can vote
And you
absentee.
can vote absentee, you don't even have to be here, but it's every year, it's the same thing. And we go throughout the winter to budget meetings that the RSU has, and many times the entire board has gone and reminded the school board as a whole to be conscientious of, you know, the impact of property taxes and all that. And I'm gonna just say my version, many times, you know, they look in the room and they always see us, and they're like, okay, you know, it's important to speak up, attend, it's your money, it's our money, but David's right, that's the lion's share.
Well, yeah, sorry, I did the calculations for the distribution of the, between county, school, and town. So this year, 12% of your taxes goes to county, 30% goes to the municipality, and 58% goes to school. The majority of your taxes go to the school, 58% of it.
Are we talking Bath, Woolwich?
No, it's the
RSU.
RSU one.
So Phippsburg, Bath, Woolwich.
We got 2 brand new schools in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, we have no more control over that than you do. The RSU is its own entity. We don't have anything to do with that. We just collect the money for them.
I used to go to the public hearing that they had at the Bath Middle School every year, and I always gave the same stump speech. I always stood up and I asked people to temper their passion for the school with a little compassion for the voters. The last time I did that, I got booed out of the room, and I haven't gone back since. So, it's frustrating because no matter what they're talking about, they can be talking about social studies, whatever, people stand up and say, well, I don't think that's enough money, I think we ought to double that, or triple it, or whatever, you know, and it, you know, there's a disconnect. I mean, if you add to the tax, if you add to the programs and everything, you're adding to the taxes. So, you know, at some point, don't get me wrong, we have to educate our children, but it drives me nuts that the bricks and mortar have become more important than the kids. That little school we have here cost almost $19 million to build. If we could have built that building for $10 million, we could have spent $9 million more on the kids and the teachers, you know?
Or spent less.
And I tried years ago to get a bill up in Augusta before Ellison was up there. So the state could design 9 schools, 3 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 3 high schools, and build the same building over and over and over. Didn't know how many 2x4s to buy, how many windows to buy, how many yards of carpet to buy, and they could be built so that they could be expandable. But you look, every time a school is built, it has to outschool the one before it. Look at the new Moss High School. It's a gorgeous building. Could have been built for about a third of what it costs. A school building needs to be warm, safe, and dry, well lit. It doesn't need to be fancy. When they built this school up here, they put a big fancy mural in the hall and everything. They had 2 plumbing shutoffs in the whole building. So if they had to change a faucet washer in the girls' basement on the east side of the building, they had to shut off that whole side of the building and drain it. You know? There was no money for faucet, for plumbing shutoffs. So, you know, it drives me nuts. I'm a resident curmudgeon here. I try not to spend your money any more than I have to spend mine.
Yeah, so a big takeaway today, the takeaway from this, we just heard Kim, the treasurer, administrator, say that out of every $1,000 you pay in taxes, $300 stays here in town. That's to plow your roads, to collect your garbage, fire, EMS, you know, keep this whole, all this stuff going. So that's just important to remember where the money goes.
Right. I mean, it's hard. I mean, we, you know, we try our best to keep the budget down, but there's only so much we can do when we only control 30 cents on a dollar.
Well, and I also just want to point out, some of you were around when we had the pay-as-you-throw trash bag issue, right? Where it was one vote and then it went another way. And a lot of that, I mean, that passed. And this is what happens when you come to town meeting. You get enough of your friends to come, to show up. You can make a difference in the vote. And it doesn't, you know, at town meetings, it doesn't always take that many, right? So get your supporters, your friends, your neighbors to come out and vote. You can actually just leave after the vote on that.
What is this, days ago?
This, yeah, it was like 10, yeah, remember that? Well, yeah, so we had,
$5 a bag.
yeah, so we tried that briefly here about
What, 10 years ago?
10 years
It
ago.
was done by petition, though, don't forget.
Yeah, so,
Good.
yeah,
Jack,
yeah, and overwhelmingly, yeah.
Jack, you had a comment?
I'm not sure I'm understanding this correctly. It seems to me the money is not spent at town meeting. It's spent at the school and at the county. And we control it at town meeting quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones we can't control is the school and the county.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, we've had extremely significant increases in the school budget. So so you gotta follow the mill rate, right? So for 4 years in a row, it was $15.40 until last year. We went to $16.70. We had a $385,000-$400,000 increase just for the school. We can't.
$441,789.
Yeah.
That's this year.
That's this year.
Last year was
Last year was
380.
just shy of
Last
that.
year was 300 and something.
Yeah, so this year they come back and they have, those are, to my knowledge, are the 2 largest dollar value increases we've ever had. So that combined with our own spending and then the county, we just, there's no way to do that. You know, and if you look around the state, I mean, I'm not trying to bash the school, but if you look, it's the money.
Well,
It's the same thing in any community.
So what's the line of defense against these administrators and folks looking at Woolwich and saying, hey, those guys just reevaluated, they got a whole bigger pot of money coming in now.
We have no more, we have no more money coming in.
No more money than we did last year.
Right, remember, it's just mathematical, the reval just changed value, but it doesn't change the amount of money.
I know math is pretty quick.
No, there is.
And my quick math says I'm gonna pay $800 more in taxes
Yeah, but don't
this
forget-
year than last year.
Yeah, but sir,
So,
don't forget, if we hadn't reval, the mill rate was going to go up anyway.
I didn't forget that, I factored that in.
Yeah, so if you take your old value times $19.15,
Got it.
and then take the exemptions that you can't get 100% of,
I can read the numbers.
yeah, so your taxes.
So, it still came out
Yeah.
$800 more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's the one misconception that I've been seeing on Facebook a lot, is there is no extra money. The town meeting told us how much money we have to spend, the school tells us how much money we have to pay them, and the county tells us how much money they have. So we take that number, and that's divided into the overall assessment of the town, and that's how we come up to the $10.20. There is no extra money. We only collect what the town meeting, the school, and the county tells us we need. And we don't control that. If we go to the town meeting, we make suggestions at town meeting. And the way we write our articles, they can be lowered, but they cannot be raised. With the exception, this year, we didn't word it correctly on donations, and somebody did stand up and add an extra $10,000 for donations. You probably won't make that mistake. You probably won't make that mistake next year.
I got one more question. So the housing market's up right now, and it's been up for the last 5 years, and it's been 23 years since the town's done this. What happens when the bottom falls out of that housing market and our properties aren't worth anything, and we
So
still
we'll
pay
do another,
taxes?
do another evaluation, and the assessments will come down.
Can we
Yeah.
hire a private evaluator to come in and evaluate our own property and present it to the town?
No, the town has to pay to do it, but I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
Things are coming down right now.
Yeah.
Things aren't selling. People are running out of money.
So what
Well,
will
I'll tell you, the average house in Woolwich is on the market for 41 days. Okay, we had a 3-bedroom raised ranch over on the east side of town. It was on the market for 3-bedroom raised ranch, 1.5 acres of land, dirt driveway, no garage. It was on the market for $425. Bidding war broke out on it, sold 4 days later for $449. Okay?
yeah.
And I can go on and on. I mean, I watch this all the time. I go on and I watch the sales that are going on. We had a double wide on the middle road sold for over $300,000. So, I mean, it's just,
How many
and
hours stated?
the law says, the state constitution says, we have to charge, we have to assess something at what a willing buyer would pay a willing seller. Okay? So, ask yourself, would you sell your house for less than what we get it assessed for? I wouldn't entertain an offer for less than $412 for my house. I wouldn't even consider it.
I'm speaking for myself. I bought my house 5 years ago, and the gap that there is in these 5 years, I could cash out with a ridiculous amount of money.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. That should not happen
Yep.
over 5 years. This is a lifetime investment.
Yep.
Like, what about people that are on fixed incomes? Are they gonna have to go back to work to pay like $800 balance on their taxes? Like
When my parents bought their house, they paid $1,025 for it. At the time, my grandparents, I wasn't alive then, but my grandparents told them they'd never live long enough to see that house worth $1,000. At the end of it, when my mother passed away, we were paying $2,800 a year in taxes on that house that they paid $1,000 for. So, Jack.
Somebody's not pitching their business.
I mean, it seems to me we're circumventing the area here. Now, regardless of where values go and so on, we still need X amount of money to run the school, the county, and the town.
Right.
So if the values go down, won't the mill rate have to go up? The money still has to come in.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's,
So
until we do something about the county and the school, We're all gonna be living in this deal until we can't afford it.
The reval just ensures that it's equitably
Right.
distributed. It
That's
really
right.
doesn't have anything to do with the absolute value of the house.
There's very, very little in the town budget that we could cut out, other than donations. We could cut out the library, we could cut out all the donations, but we have to plow your roads by law. We have to have a fire department by law. We have to have an EMS department, or we have to contract with another town to provide an EMS department by law. So there's not much that we can stop. Thanks in a great deal to Kim, we lowered the cost of running the town office by $55,000 last year. There just isn't much we can cut out. I mean, we can start buying pencils with no erasers, maybe get a penny a pencil off, but some, I mean, it's just, it's that ridiculous. I mean, we just have nothing that we can cut. We do have a Cadillac system for our trash pickup. There aren't many towns, small towns in Maine that have curbside pickup. That is something that we tried to modify that 10 years ago, and it didn't go over well at all. That would have, the paper bag thing would have saved the town a lot of money, would have saved you folks a lot of money on your taxes, but it was not popular, so it got voted back out very quickly, okay? So there's just not much we can cut. We're constantly looking for grants and everything. All the work you see done around this building this year was all paid for 100% by grants. Not 1 cent of local tax money went on it. We're moving the road out here next year. The state's paying for that. The Quasset Road here on this side is gonna move over, and we're gonna, redesign it so it's a better intersection down the end. We're moving the boat ramp downtown from one side of the creek to the other. That's being paid 100% with grant money. We do. We beat the bushes to try to get every cent we can I mean, let's face it, if it's grant money that comes from the federal government, it comes out of your left pocket instead of your right pocket, but at least there's 31 million people paying for it, not just us, So,
Was that maybe don't?
all right, we're gonna move on.
It's a gentleman, if you want to.
I just have, I just want to clarify my notes here. 12% of the tax bill
12%.
to the town, 30%.
No.
No, 12% is the county, 30% is the town, and 58 is the,
12%
school.
to the county
12% is the county,
and 30% to the town.
30% to the town. So 30 cents for every,
And that breakdown will be on the tax bill.
yes.
Yeah, but, and another thing, last year, you sent a tax bill paid twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first half of the year, mine was X amount, I can't remember. The second half, it went up $300, and there was no explanation in that. It was higher than it was, the second half was higher than the first half.
I'd have
Is
to
that
look at it,
normal?
but it should be split completely equal.
Yeah, because when you get your bill, both halves.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
When they came out, they
Send a
also send
reminder.
out the
Yeah.
bill,
Right.
the half year too.
I'm
They send it out
wondering, did
first.
you have a prepayment from the year before and it carried over and took it off of your first half?
I'll check it, bring it in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't show that on your tax bill. It would just show that you owed X amount for the first half and X amount for the second. It wouldn't show a prepayment. But I can look it up for you to see if you had extra money
I'll
from
bring
the
it
prior
in.
year, because that would have carried over.
Okay, I'll bring it in. Thank you.
Okay.
Because is the other thing and about, because Jack was talking about, like, it's the school and the county, like, we already talked about the limitations that we have in funding. So there will be an attempt this year to put in a bill to have county budgets subject to a public vote. I don't know if it'll, what the status of that is, but I'll keep you posted. I'll certainly be offered to co-sponsor it.
I think it should be a countywide vote, because we did fight a war a while back over taxation with no representation.
Well,
Well, I think personally, I think you guys have done a remarkable job with Kim,
Thanks.
Have a good night.
and,
I'm sorry, what?
I say, I think you guys have done a
He's
good job.
complimenting you.
Well,
Thank you.
I think our tax collection rate downstairs is amazing.
Right.
That we are usually either at 96 to 99%, and that's great.
We have one of the highest tax collection rates in the state. And it, you know, thank you all for that. Although, I mean, nobody likes paying taxes.
Yeah, Bert,
Nobody likes paying taxes.
I'm speaking for the guys and girls that are on fixed incomes, that have set themselves up and retired.
Right
You know,
here.
now, you're on whatever, I don't care how
I'm
much you make.
76 years old.
Okay, so you take this tax bill, oftentimes it's probably gonna be your biggest bill for the year if you don't have your mortgage, right?
Yeah.
This is what, I always make this
What's gonna happen to those people? Are they gonna
at
go back to
town
work?
meeting, you know, there are certain people in this town, if the tax is gonna go up $200 this year, it's no big deal. But there are certain people in this town, if the taxes go up $200 this year, they're gonna buy less oil, less food, or God forbid, less medicine, right?
Exactly.
I mean, because they're stretched. And I mean, I'm retired, I was self-employed for 50 years, I have no golden parachute or you know,
But there will be some
retirement
people
plan or anything
that will
else.
see their taxes go down. We calculated a couple of people, and because they have the homestead and they have veterans exemptions and line, they're paying less than they did last year, even though their values are higher. Because their
Anytime a
exemptions are
revale
100%.
revale is done, if it's done properly, about a third of the people will see their taxes stay relatively the same. A third will see an increase, and a third will see a reduction. And usually it's the people with the newer houses. You figure, my house was built in '86, okay? So it hadn't been, and we hadn't done a revale in 16 years. The reason we didn't do one in 16 years is until COVID hit, we were able to keep our certified ratio at around 90-95% by just tweaking every year, you know? And when COVID hit, it went crazy. I mean, all of a sudden phone booths were selling for $100,000. I mean, you know, it just went nuts. And everybody said, well, it's gonna calm down. Well, it never has. It's still selling. When you get home, go on Realtor.com or whatever it is, and just look at raw land in Woolwich.
I think that's where
Try
you
to
guys got my
find
assessment.
a lot of 2 acres or more that's less than $95,000. You can't. There's on the Walker Road, the first place on the left on the Walker Road. Some people just bought that, they paid $95,000 for an old beat-up trailer and a lot of land. They hauled the trailer out, poured a slab, put a new double wide in, and put it back on the market. I mean, they paid $95,000 just to get that lot. And it's not a particularly big lot. So, and a lot of the subdivisions on this side of the river, on this side of the road, we've got several of them going up, and they're selling like hotcakes. Some of them are 3-acre lots, $150,000.
Are locals buying those, or are these people?
I don't know who
Don't
buys them.
buy it.
I have no idea who
You
buys
can't
them,
control that.
but they're selling, and they're selling very rapidly. Some of them are filling right up. I mean, get down on some of these side roads, drive up into some of the subdivisions, you'll see new foundations, new houses, new everything, and they're going in rapidly. So,
More houses going in, that'll bring the mill rate back down.
Yes.
More tax money coming
Yes.
in, right?
Yeah.
Plus, they put more kids in school.
Yeah, yeah,
Get that
yeah.
School can handle as many kids as people wanna pump out, I think it's big enough.
Yeah, but it costs more. It's going.
First
Not if
student.
we vote down the
But-
budget, right?
I'm sorry?
Not if we vote down the school
Right.
budget.
That's right.
So
Hey,
how do we,
Ken.
so
Oh.
I work all day. How would I make an impact on the school budget? Like, do they hold those meetings at
They're in the
school time?
evening.
They're
Six-
they are-
Well,
6 o'clock.
The school, the monthly meetings are at 6 o'clock. There are budget meetings that are sometimes in the daytime and finance meetings but I don't have one.
No, of course, no,
But 6 o'clock
Okay.
is,
The, I'm trying to say,
Referendum?
The vote.
no,
The
the
budget?
public hearing. The public hearing is always held in the evening, and it's usually at the middle school, that.
well, it's been at Moore's the last couple of years.
With it,
Yeah, with the new
usually
auditorium.
always at the middle school, but it's in Bath, and it's always in the evening.
Okay.
You haven't been there since you've been booed out though, so you would.
That's right, we're covering for them, yeah.
And the
RSU1.
referendum is at
RSU1
8 in the morning to 8
.org.
in the evening, vote, and it's usually held right here, and it,
Yeah, and you can vote
right,
outside.
and it's 8 to 8.
No, we
Like I
don't do
said,
that, we don't do it.
Huh?
We don't do 8 to 8.
What do you do?
We do 8 to 4:30.
8 to 4:30,
Yeah.
then correct it.
We
Yeah,
should
do
probably,
8
you
to
know, we
4:30.
should probably tweak that.
Well, yeah, but don't forget, you can vote absentee, and so the biggest thing is, you.
And when you get 60 people,
Well-
Yeah, exactly, so what we wanna
and
see
half
is,
of them are absentee.
we
Well,
wanna see
so,
more
yeah,
than 60 people come out and vote.
Some
And
people
do-
said it was
you know,
because
and if
they
you look around the
worked.
state, you start reading the paper,
Done it for
you'll
6
notice
years.
that a lot of towns have voted down their school budgets. Not because they hate the schools go back, shave off 200,000, 100,000, $500,000, whatever they do. They come back, they vote it up, down, and you'll notice that many of the towns are, and that sort of sends a message, in my opinion, that sends a message. Like, you've got to be a little more frugal. You've got to find a way to.
Yeah, but some people will vote it down because it's too high, and some people will vote it
Well,
down
and
because
that's
it's too
true.
low.
But the underlying thing is, in a town with this many people, and there's only 60 or 70 voters for the school budget, and it's that big a number, you know, we gotta get people to vote.
What if something got sent out from the town of Woolwich in May, saying, hey, school budget's coming up in June, this is our biggest expense?
It's always advertised in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It is on the town website.
It's on the electronic sign.
Everybody gets the mail, everybody got their
I know.
revaluation.
I wish the school would send out a
Yeah,
notice
but wait a minute,
right
we don't
then.
wanna waste your tax dollars.
That's right.
I'll bring the paper. How many pieces of paper do you need?
You're gonna have to pay the postage.
Yes.
I'm just joking.
Hey, Kim,
Not to continue to beat up on the school, but when I was a kid going to Mitchell School over there, Mr. Carter was he was the principal. He was the 6th grade teacher, and he also did boys phys ed. That's at least 3 people nowadays, and probably 6 because they all have an assistant. I think when we had our own school board and everything, I think there was 18 employees up here in the school, 18, 19 employees. I think there's 30 something up there now. I mean, it's turned into an industry, and nobody does more than one job, you know. Or if they do, they're paid for doing both of them.
I see the
But
breakdown.
it's just, I don't know. I hate to beat them up, but it just seems like there's no end to it. I mean, we have to educate our kids. We have to take care of our children. But at some point, you gotta say, enough's enough. Let's have some common sense here. All right, we're gonna move on to our regular select.
Actually, I
board meeting.
have one more question.
Okay.
When, David's comment about a third goes up, third stays the same, third, will you be able to calculate that to see, when we send out the tax bills, can you sort of see if that's
I asked
worn
Nicole
out?
to send a spreadsheet so that we could figure that out.
Oh, okay,
So-
all right,
So,
okay,
yeah, we'll try to do that.
okay, never
All right.
mind.
Okay.